How's it going, people? Welcome back to the channel and welcome back to our much anticipated Forever Arsenal. I mean, it's been maybe about 10 days since the last one. Obviously, international break, you've got used to it. Yeah.
Nothing's happened.
Yeah, but they might miss us, though.
Yeah.
What a loyal audience we have, I have to say. Fair play.
Well, that intro didn't sell well. I mean, James does allow Cecil to do his intros, but I'll bring poetry to the table next time. Don't worry about that. But we are back. It is the four of us. It might be anticipated. It might not be anticipated. We're here to talk about Arsenal. There isn't much news, but there is a game coming this weekend. Premier League football back in action. I think it's game week 12. Is it game week 12? Yeah, game week 12. Yeah, coming up to a third of the season played, people. A third of the season played. It's no longer, it's just 10 games. It's just 11 games. It's a third of the season. And James has got another satin on the tip of his tongue.
And all to play for.
It's all to play for. Lee's back in the building. Jordan's back in the building. No mad lighting. It seems crisp.
Nah, I'm in the work building today. So can we hurry up? Because I want to go home.
Oh yeah, what, to that lighting? No, we know where you can record well now. We're good. Lee, how you been anyway? I see you, Lyle and Scott model during the international break. I mean, new career.
Doing a bit of modelling, bit of filming again tomorrow. I've actually, me and James were talking about this international break. Couldn't have come at a better time. And I'm being honest, another week of it, I would be happy with. I'll tell you, I think needed it. I've needed it to recharge the batteries. It's all been a bit doom and gloom, but I'm in a good place at the moment. My modelling career's taking off. You know what I mean? So all good in the hood, as they say. Yeah.
Speaking of Hoodsley, I'm just on the Lyle and Scott website. They've got some nice jackets and tops, man.
Yes, you mock now, you know what I mean? You weren't saying that 10 minutes ago, was you? You know what I mean? When I said, Ange, give you a freebie. No, you didn't want it. So you know what you can do with your hoodie now, don't you?
Shout out Lee Judges TV for your discount codes, people. Message him on all social platforms. He's a very giving person, so if you need something, then I'm sure he'll provide. Lee Judges 20. I heard that's the discount code, but don't put me on that. Let's get into it. International break. I mean, it was one I was enjoying until a couple hours ago when Turkey just threw it all in the bin, all the good work. But it's Nations League. It is what it is. I'm waiting for World Cup. No, not for Nations League, man. But to be honest, the last couple of games, if I did do a watch along, it would have been cinema because we're messing about. I mean, Montella's close to the banners coming out with that sort of a performance and result, but. It's back to Premier League stuff. Yeah, people don't want to hear about Turkey's problems. They want to hear about Arsenal's problems, and the problems seem to have mounted with Trossard being the next victim of an international break injury. We don't have much news on the longevity, the severity of it, but he did come off in the first half of the Belgium game on the weekend. Any news on that, James? I'm going to go to the resident in the know of the Forever Arsenal podcast.
Guys, this is terrible podcasting. I'm very aware. I've no idea. I'm so with Lee, guys. I've loved this break. It's been fantastic. It took me a second glance at the Ben White news. I was just chilling and it just put Ben White out for 8 to 12 weeks. Went, oh, all right. Wait, 8 to 12. It took me a second to because I was just so out of it. And even then my reaction was sort of that's a blow, but best of luck, Ben. Hope you're well. Genuinely, big, important player, real cost to us, but we'll do something about it. I'm just and had that happened kind of mid any other point in the season, I'd be stressing and feeling the need to make content around it and talk about it. But I've really just tried to switch off from this international break because in a weird way, I kind of hope Arsenal have too. I kind of hope the team have just forgotten, put to bed whatever's just gone on, come back really fresh, ready to go. And as we said last week, put a few wins together and see where you are. On the Trossard thing, what I will say, I saw some people celebrating it. well, he's not been good anyway.
To your
Look,
Arsenal fans.
yeah, some saying maybe not celebrating is going too far, but some people sort of going basically, who cares? Listen, Trossard is still a big player for us, even if it is as that 12th man, because in title races they can make a difference, and in in a current football schedule that's so busy, you need players that, when you're not at your best, can put the ball in the back of the net. That Villa Park performance, I reflect on it as a really good away performance. But why? Because Trossard came up with a big moment. If he doesn't, then we're going, well, did we do enough? Did we ask enough questions? And those are the fine margins of football sometimes. And Trossard can very often put you on the right side of those fine margins. Now, at Stamford Bridge, he didn't. Playing in the 10, it didn't happen for him. But he's still a big player for us, I think. So I don't really get the disrespect for Leandro. I hope he's okay. I hope it's nothing serious, and I hope he's back soon. And on Ben, as we're talking about injuries, Benjamin, shall I say, he deserves this break. We know he's been playing through injury, quite a lot in the last sort of year or two. Obviously, that doesn't mean I want him to be out for 4 months, but it's a break that I think probably he was due at some point. I wish it wasn't that long. But hopefully he's back soon and raring to go, because we'll need him in the running if we pull ourselves into one.
Can I just talk about that just so quickly? Like, if he was suffering this from last season, why didn't he have the operation in the summer?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I don't know. It's just ridiculous.
Is that what they're saying? That he suffered from it last season?
That's what I've heard. You know what I mean? It's been over a year that he's been suffering from this or whatever. Now, surely if it's the case, you get it done. And the other thing is, if he is needing an operation, why are we playing him? It's Arsenal Football Club. What is going on? There is something wrong when you're having to play a player that's then you play him on a weekend and then like the next day he's having an operation. It doesn't seem right to me. It doesn't seem right.
We're short on defenders.
Incredibly,
yeah. I mean, I say that tongue in cheek because that's where we're at. The position we thought we was very comfortable in. There's players all over the map that can be flexible, put into different positions and perform well. And here we are, Calafiori out, Ben White's now out for minimum 8. It says minimum 8. I mean, the expectation is 10 to 12, really.
How can you play though, and then have to have an operation? You know what I mean? It's a miracle, really, that he's been doing it. I had an operation on Monday. I couldn't play football. I tore my cartilage. I'd imagine that it's something like that he's had. For him to be able to play on it at that level, I find it incredible. And is it really the right thing to do?
No, there was a similar thing with Smith Rowe where he had this, I think it was a recurring groin problem, and they tried to nurse him through it until eventually deciding take the big, go for the big one and get it sorted properly. So sometimes you can have, I think, just like almost pains or a tendonitis or something like that I think you can maybe nurse your way through, but eventually go, right, we've got to do something about it. I think that's probably what it was. The question about why he didn't get it done earlier is probably a valid one, but I mean, there'll be so many. There'll be was it a knee he had? What was it?
Yeah, it's a knee injury of some sort. So I know, like with your groin, you can play through a groin injury, can't you, or hernia? I mean, I don't know about a knee though, James. Once it goes, it goes.
Well, you get like as a kid, you can grow up with like Osgood Schlatter and stuff, like things like that that you play through, but then eventually you go, actually, should we do something about it?
Yeah. I mean, the Osgood Slashers, I've had that since I was 18. I remember when I tore my meniscus initially when I was 20, the advice was continue as much as you can. I mean, I didn't get my first operation on the meniscus till I was 30, 31, because they said the moment we operate on your knee, it never gets back to 100%. So try and play as young, when you're young, as much as possible on it until push comes to shove. But again, this is me we're talking about. This ain't a professional football at the elite level. So I don't know. I mean, I remember not an argument, but James, remember last year? I think it was December times. I think Ben White was out injured for a game. I think it was was it Champions League or was it Europa League the year before? When he was played, or he came off the bench, and then there was rumors that he was injured. But I argued that, hold on, would he have played if he was injured? That dates back about 12 months at the very least. So
Yeah, I remember us having that conversation before about it. Like, you know what I mean? If he's injured, if he's injured, would they be playing him and all that? Like, you know, I was lucky with my injury. Like, they just shaved it. I know that like modern technology's changed now. Maybe like, you know, he had the pain and was getting through it, but this day and age doesn't really happen a lot, does it? Like, you know what I mean? So very, very strange.
Big blow. I don't want, like, you know, I mean, Ben White,
Yeah.
I mean, I know we're stacked defensively, but I need to, you know, re-mention that Ben White over the last couple of seasons has been a top 2, at worst, top 3 right back in this league. So regardless of us, you know, having Timber to come in and replace him, an equally solid player in different ways, that is a big loss for the team. It's another one.
Well, Timber's record at injuries isn't great either. So it's not like, you know what I mean, anybody can be confident that you can rattle off 10 games in a row from Timber, because can we? Do you know what I mean? So I don't think even Timber's record is great.
Well, let's not talk about Tomiyasu.
He was an unused sub today, wasn't he? So Holland played today. He was unused. They're already qualified though, aren't they? So it was a meaningless game. So it was nice of the Dutch not to play him. Like, you know, they sent Van Dijk home, didn't they? So
the Liverpool fans I've been speaking to, they're suspicious, because they're saying they'd rather Van Dijk had played, because at least they'd know that he's fit. Whereas they're a bit like, oh, it seems a little bit too cozy. Oh no, just have Van Dijk back. It's fine. We've qualified. It's all right. Take him back. And it's like, well, hang on a minute. And then he comes back, and then you find out that he's injured. So although on paper it looks like a good gesture, and you're glad to have your players back, I'd rather my players were playing.
A fair concern.
I'd rather they're playing, because at least you know they're fit. But yeah, anyway, we'll see how it plays out.
On the player front, I mean, you know, Declan Rice, Saka, they've had a couple of weeks now away from the action. Odegaard, another couple of weeks. Timber didn't play at all in the last game. Saliba only played part in one of France's 2 games, I believe. He was on the bench for the first one. That's just off the top of my head. So
yeah, you'll be glad to know Havertz come on as a sub today, like, you know.
Oh, thank God for that.
Played the last 28 minutes, like, you know.
Oh, phew.
I
have to sweat off my hat.
He didn't score, but he created lots of space and mayhem. I don't know if that's true, like, you know.
So blame the players that didn't go into the
mayhem.
I'll expect nothing less.
Did he come on at left back or striker this time?
I think he was playing wing back. I think he was playing
wing back. Oh, don't let Arteta know that. I mean, you know, we don't want to see the next step of this process.
Apparently he's playing right back. Mikel said, "Look, can you play there? Like, I've lost Ben White, and we're short of a right back." He said, "Anything for you, boss," is what he actually said. Like, there you go.
Of course he did. As long as that 275k hits, I'll make space wherever you want. On the bench, I can make space if you want it, mate. But we gotta be raring to go, right? I mean, you know, usually in international breaks, I say usually, I mean a lot more than needs to be. We come out the back of it with, you know, damning injury news, not really looking the best of ways. This time round, I mean, like I said, a lot of our key players have either played bit part roles or not played at all. And we've got a favourable run coming up now. Liverpool plays City in 2 weeks now. So at the very least, we know. I know I'm looking forward 10 games and saying we need to win the next 10 to be able to reanalyze our position and maybe ask again about the title race. But we win the next 2, we definitely close the gap on one of Liverpool and City, or City. Maybe both if they draw the game. And that's the first step we have to do, in the next 2. And when you consider it's Forest at the Emirates and West Ham away, I mean, you know, 6, 8, 10, 12 months ago, we would have been predicting 6 out of 6, confidently, chest out. This time round, I'm not too sure. I mean, Jordan, let's start with you on Nottingham Forest this weekend. They've had a great start to the season. It's the old school 3 p.m. kickoff. It's at the Emirates. How do you look at this game? Do you look at it as a welcome game at the Emirates, one that isn't a Leicester or Southampton that, you know, we should be wiping the floor with, but can't really take much from? It's a test for us, for sure. Do you think it comes at a good time, or would you have preferred a simpler looking one on paper?
Oh boy, the way we're playing at the moment, Turkish, I don't even know what a simpler game looks like, to be honest. So,
Well, Leicester
I,
Southampton was meant to be, but yeah, 60
well,
minutes in.
there you go. So, I think, I mean, I must admit, in the last few days, I've just been around a few more positive people like James and Robbie and all that lot, because
I haven't
kind of
seen you
come.
once.
Yeah, well, I meant people like you. I meant people like you. You know what I mean?
Ah,
What about
don't
like
think
me?
No.
Nah.
No, steer clear of you. Fuck me.
You're missing out,
You
man.
know what I mean?
The problem is I'm one of Turkish. That's the problem. I've been the people that are like, it's not over, Jordan. It's not over. It's not over. Maybe it's rubbing off on me. So
I was thinking, when did I see you?
no. I just meant positive people. I've definitely had a slight rethink about the title ambitions. Right. I do think we are almost done. I don't think we're done. I just think we've got to do something incredible to get ourselves back in this. I remember after the Fulham game last season when we lost, I said we're done. So as the title race is over, I was very, very unequivocal that we just wasn't gonna do it. And we went on that crazy run where I think we only dropped points to Villa and City.
Mm-hmm.
I think it was Villa and City. We beat Liverpool, we beat Palace, and we went on a really good run. And so we know we've got it in us. So that's comforting. But for me, this is a game, and my attitude then is the same as it is now. Turkish, just win the next game. Just win the next game. Forget all this 5 games, how many points. Forget all this. We've got to be here by there. Just win a football game. Just win a game. It's that simple for me. Go back to basics. We are a very, very good team. Just we've got pretty much everybody back now. I think bar Ben White. Just go back to basics. Defenses, go back to defending. The triangle of Rice, if he plays, hopefully he plays, Gabriel, Saliba, that was the cornerstone of our defensive solidity last season. Up top, I think we can push up a little bit more and have a bit more confidence, knowing that we have got Saliba and Gabriel. I know they play against Chelsea, but we've got the core of our defense back. Hopefully Saka's going to be okay and he'll start. Martinelli, you guys know my thoughts on Martinelli, but I'm backing the boy. We need him. We need our front.
There's
we
your
need
thumbnail.
Yep, got it.
We need the front three to deliver now because I think we are in that kind of now. I know we said it last time, but I think we are in that. There's no excuses now. We've had a couple of weeks off. We've got most of our players back. Nottingham Forest are on a good run of form, but we're at home. So it's a game that I just don't think there's any excuses, really. And if we're really serious, we have to win. We can't draw. We can't. It's one of the few times in the season, guys, where I'll sacrifice a poor performance for a win. It's very rare. I'm one of those people that says, just win the game. I don't care how we play. But this is one of those few games. Just win the game. And we can worry about building some momentum, building some form, scoring some goals, keeping some clean sheets, and really getting the belief back in the Emirates. Because right about now, the fan base, 50% at least, they believe we're fighting for second. So I think it's a game we have to win. We'll get to our predictions at the end, and I'll let you know if I think we're going to win. But it's just win this game, win the next game, and let's see where we are in a couple of weeks' time.
Yeah, Lee. I mean, I completely agree with everything Jordan says. How we go about that. I mean, if the scale was from rigid to free flowing, where do you think Arsenal have been on that scale this season? I mean, the reason I asked is because I put us much more towards rigid. That goes further into this weekend because it's the last international break till March. Last year we had that Dubai break in January. I think was it January? I think it was January.
Yeah, January,
and
yeah.
it was a chance to reset. Essentially, this is the last kind of chance to reset. Unless it's going to be amongst a handful of games, because from now until March, back to back all the way. Do you think it's a case of doubling down on the rigidness and the structure, or do you think it's a case of releasing the handbrake a little against Forest this weekend?
Yeah, well, listen, I think Saturday's going to show you everything, and I know that sounds silly, but it will do. I think as fans, we need reassurance. We need a big performance, like loads of goals, and like that we're back. I think that at the moment people are turning around, myself included, that we're not out of the title race if we go on a run and win the next 10 games. Definitely like the next 7 up till Christmas. you know, and then basically what Jordan said, see where we are. The problem with that, and the problem that I've got at the moment, I haven't seen us look like we can get a run of form going. But I didn't see that last season when we lost to Fulham, West Ham and Liverpool, if you remember rightly. And then all of a sudden we went on this unbelievable run. I didn't see that game. So, listen, I agree with what Jordan says. This team is good enough. We know it's a good enough team, and that's what we've got to hope for at this moment in time. I do think if Arsenal win their next 10 games, go on a run of 10 wins, 7 wins, at least 7 wins in the next 7, they're all games that we should win. I know there's some tough games on there, but like you can't go around saying, "Oh, we've had tough fixtures, we've had tough fixtures." Somewhere along the line, you've got to have some easy fixtures then, surely, or winnable fixtures. So that's what happens now. Win those 7 games, and let's see where we are. As you quite rightly said, Turkish, that we'll definitely make at least 2 or 3 points on one of those teams, if that's the case, because they've got a clash against each other. So for me now, you know, I said on the Fourever, on the Invincibles, I said to Julian, you can't worry about the other teams at this moment. Oh, yes, you can. You've got to worry about what they're doing. No, you know, you've got to worry. You just got to take care of yourself. Win your game, see what happens. Win your game, win your next game, see what happens. And that's what I'm going to do now. Listen, if they don't win their next 7 games, Arsenal are not winning this league. They're not winning it. It's as simple as that, like, you know. At this moment in time, we are capable of doing it. We've got no form to say that we are capable of doing it at this moment in time. But, as I say, I think we need to go to this game. I need reassurances, boys, from the players to just go, you know, that it's all right. People like Declan saying, "Oh, yes, we've got to win things. We've got, well, yes, we're up for it," and everything like that. You know, talk is cheap. Go out there now. Go and get the 6-7 wins. And then on Boxing Day, when we're doing one after the one before Boxing Day against Ipswich at home, we'll all be hopefully like saying, "Oh yeah, we're back in it." But at this moment in time, we've just got to go on a run. Hopefully we can do that. And at this moment in time, if I've been really honest, it's hoping that we can. But we need to, you know, it's not only the league games that we've got 2, maybe 3 important cup games going in. It depends how you want to look at the League Cup as well, because as soon as we've got this game, we've got Sporting, we've got to get some sort of result in our next 2 Champions League games in this run of 7, 8 league games. I think this is really it now, do or die now for to the end of the season. You might think I'm being dramatic and whatever, but that's how I feel. We put ourselves in this position now. Can Liverpool go? Look, listen, if Liverpool go on, if we win 7 games on the spin, boys, and Liverpool are still 9 points in front of us, you've got to roll down and say that's bloody fair play to them. Like, you know, I don't think that you can keep criticising other teams if they continue to keep going on this run. So, listen, the only way you're going to put pressure on Liverpool is keep winning. We've got to start, you know, like they've had a couple of lovely weeks. If I was a Liverpool fan, a lovely couple of weeks, everybody dropping points around us, and we haven't, like, you know. But what we've got to do now is try and win a couple of games. I listen, if you said to me, take a 1-0 win against Forest, I want the 3 points. The 3 points is, but I do think that we need to beat Forest and beat them convincingly, and to just give everybody a little bit more of a boost going into some difficult. West Ham's going to be difficult again, boy. I know we won there 6-0 last season, but I don't see that being easy. And then Manchester United after that's not easy, but it's at home. You know, different manager and everything like that, but you'd still back Arsenal to win that. You know, they're not easy games. I think Fulham away. You know, look at that game. You know, they're all difficult. But at the end of the day, if you're going to win the title, you've got to go on a run, boys. It's as simple as that. If you have a look at all their title runs, even the Invincibles, the 2002, whenever Arsenal have won the league, if you look at it, there would be a spate of 8 or 9, 10 games where they've gone and won all those games. We've got to, if you can't do that, you're not going to win the league.
Can I just, before James comes in, just super quickly, sorry, James, I think something else is really important as well as the squad. I've been really disappointed with how the bench haven't really contributed much this season, in my view. There's a strong chance that it could be 0-0 at 75 minutes on Saturday. it could be a draw. We could be level at 75 minutes. We really need your Jesuses, your Sterlings. Where's Jorginho? We really need the bench to do their bit. This is not going to be an easy game. I don't expect us to be 3-0 up at half time. I think this could be a really, really difficult game. I think I'm going to this game as well. I think it could be a tense first hour where we're not ahead. We might even be behind, but the bench has to really step up this season, starting Saturday. But I've been disappointed with how much the bench has done its bits this season. So I think this is a game where we might need the whole squad to just step up. Sorry, James.
Yeah. James, a big one Saturday. I mean, the start of what we hope to be a run of games where we can close the gap. Obviously, the 3 points is most important, but like Lee said, like Jordan said, the performance, needs to follow.
Yeah, look, and while I've said I've sort of disconnected from Arsenal during this international break, and it's been quite nice, I think also I'm sort of feeling refreshed and ready to come back. I miss celebrating a goal and a win. Like, I think we could really do that as a fan base. I think we need a win that sort of fuels the season a little bit. I don't think that means winning 5-0. I think it just means by minute 90 going, yeah, they looked in control again. They knew what they were doing out there. And we missed that. Also, there's a slight contradiction in how do I put this? Like, for those who thought Arsenal would or could win the league, and I didn't think we would, but I thought we could, you're basically saying that you think Arsenal are a better team and manager than Manchester City and Pep, Slot and Liverpool, and whoever else is out there chasing, the millions spent by Chelsea and every other club, may I say, and Man United, whatever. So you're basically saying that Arsenal are capable of something pretty exceptional. Well, it's weird. If you kind of believed Arsenal were capable of something exceptional before, then that 9 points behind, which again feels like a long way to go, a long way behind, and it is, you kind of also got to believe that Arsenal are capable of, if not clawing that back, then at least like having a bloody good go at it. Do you get what I'm trying to say? If you think Arsenal are capable of winning the title, you've got to believe that, you're not, that the fight's not done. My problem is the momentum. How do we flip the momentum from what it's been to suddenly going on that kind of run? But there's so much football still to be played. So I do feel torn again with what Jordan was saying, this question of like, I said before, it's over. And I think deep down, I don't think we claw that points gap back, but I do kind of also believe we're capable. And I believe it just enough for me to have hope and want to go, all right, let's have it. Come on, the chase is on. Because otherwise, what's being a fan about? I kind of got to believe we can in some way. So I haven't made any real sense of my emotions there, but I'm sort of juggling the two a little bit. So I go into this game on the weekend, and I'm kind of excited to see us play. But my head's also telling me, James, you haven't seen a good Arsenal for a long time. So where's it going to come from? Well, it's going to come from Ødegaard, hopefully. Maybe Saka has a point to prove he's fit. Maybe we get something clicks. Maybe Marino shows that he's the midfielder we need. Maybe that left-hand side clicks with Marino Calafiori, and suddenly Martinelli comes up. I don't know, but it's got to be those things. It's got to be those sort of things. Maybe Arteta does something different tactically, and it clicks, and we jump a few levels. So I'm sort of hoping that something like that might.
We're playing like a team that's feeling like a team that's sulking. I said this a few weeks ago. We're playing like a team that feels sorry for itself. There were better, shoots on the Chelsea game. I don't think we were great, but I thought we were better in the Chelsea game. There were parts of that game that I liked. I liked what I saw, but there's no room for sulking now. Saturday is a massive game, and Forest are coming to win. Forest are coming to win. They're not coming for a point. Yeah. They're coming to win. So we have to start that game as we mean to go on. We have had a nice break. I don't want to see any plodding along. I want to see tempo in our passing. I want to see movement off the ball. Where's our movement off the ball gone? I mean, a big part of that, I think, is down to Ødegaard missing. I think people make runs off the ball when Ødegaard's conducting. I get that. But still, I want to see movement. I want to see, players trying things. I want to see Martinelli taking on his guy. I want to see Saka shooting. I want to see intent on Saturday, because it's, as I think we will agree, this is not our season. This is our title. This is our title on the line here. I don't want to see any shoulders. I want to see any blaming. Just get on with it, step up and win the game.
Can I ask something? I mean,
Mm.
a question that just popped to mind now. If you had, if you could, from game week 12 for the rest of the season, you can take one of these two approaches. You can take Arsenal game week 1 to game week 19 of the 22-23 season, or you can take Arsenal game week 19 to game week 38 of the 23-24 season. Which Arsenal, because both Arsenals made a hell of a run in those 19 games, very different ways, very different approaches. Which one would you like to see? Because a reason I asked, because I guess the easy answer on the eye is the 22-23. But a lot was said about the maturity, the dominance, and the control that the 23-24 run had. But we were all talking about wanting to see a bit more, apart from James, who, wants to see the win first and foremost. I think us three have said we also want to see a bit of the handbrake off. We want to see risk taken. Which Arsenal would you like to see from this weekend if you had to pick one all the way up until the end of the season? 22-23 or 23-24?
Last season for me.
Yeah, last. Do you know what? I've watched Arsenal. I've watched them win titles and everything like that. I think that was as good as anything that I've seen following Arsenal last season. To go to teams like, like Burnley, Sheffield United. I think Burnley was earlier on the scene, but definitely Sheffield United, West Ham, Spurs be 3-0 up at half time. Go to Man United, a different sort of performance, and win those sort of games. I thought that was as good as, I never thought we was going to lose a game last season. Just felt very, very confident with the way we were playing. And under pressure as well. A lot of pressure on those games because we had to win because Man City were doing. We kept going there toe-to-toe. In the end, it just wasn't quite enough because of that Aston Villa game. But even in that Aston Villa game, we should have probably been 2-0 up before they scored. So I do think that probably it was some of the best football I'd seen from Arsenal. And I don't know about you two. You'd have followed Arsenal in those times as well. Even like in Arsene Wenger when he was great, there were times when I thought, God, we should be winning this game 5-6, 7-0, and we only won 3-0. We took our foot off the gas. There were games last season we just kept steamrolling it, and walking away from grounds disappointed it was only 6 because we thought it could have been 7, 8, 9 and trying to get Premier League records. So I think that we've got to get back to that.
But my head agrees with you both, Jordan and Lee. Like, last season, that run you're talking about, they still scored so many goals and they showed such maturity in the title race. Like, to basically finish the loser in the title race and still feel really proud of your team. That the team did something right. But again, not to make excuses for Arsenal, we've got a lot of those big away games out the way where that slightly more pragmatic approach, we went into the run and remember knowing that we had to go to Wolves, we had to go to Man United, we had to go to Tottenham, we had Villa at home. We knew we had big games that we were probably playing in a style that might have been looking ahead to some of those. Now, I'm not saying that we don't have big games. Of course we do, but there's something about 22-23 Arsenal at their best. They were just rocket fuel for the Emirates Stadium, the way they played. Like the fans, I've never seen so many Arsenal shirts out. Like it was pure vibes. No, it didn't result in what we wanted, but Martinelli, Saka, they looked dangerous. They made Premier League Team of the Year. Like there was just something about that team that, I don't know, man. You just you just felt you were on a bit of a journey with them. Maybe because we weren't expecting to be in the title race as well, so it kind of came as a bit of a shock. I mean, basically, I think your question is Turkish. Do we want Arteta to not just handbrake down a bit, slam it down and go? And to be honest, fuck it, yeah, go for it. Because we haven't won anything, guys. Let's send a message out. Let's entertain.
Yeah, have no regrets.
Yeah, a little bit. Like let's go swinging. And also, I think what people forget about 22-23 for me, it's not just that we were 50 points at the 19 game stage and then everything kind of fell apart. We still had some really kind of great moments and runs. We won 7 on the bounce, I think February, March. So we went on some great runs. It was when Robert Holding had to play football for this football club, and we lost Tomiyasu and William Saliba, two of the most physical profiles in the Premier League, and we lost them. We had to go with the complete opposite. We had to go with a penalty box defender, and then everything kind of majorly fell apart. And Jesus wasn't the Jesus of old, but I think we have the cover in that sense. I think we have the squad depth to play that kind of way. I think that kind of football will get the best out of Marino. I think we'll get the best out of Raheem Sterling. Whatever we think might be left in Raheem Sterling, I think it's probably more than Turkish thinks there is. But I think we all agree that style of football is probably more likely to unlock him. It's going to get more out of Zinchenko, Martinelli, so Jesus. So I'm thinking like, yeah, let's go for it. Let's back Saliba and Gabriel in that high press, high line, and let's just roll the dice and try and set our season alight a little bit. And that's emotional, James talking. That's not logical thinker, James, which is the one that got us closer to the title. I just think, Mikel, let that handbrake go. You've got these youngsters in Wanir and Lewis Skelly, who I think would slot brilliantly into that. Come on, let's go for it. And that's across all competitions, by the way. That's the cups, all of it. We could still have a great season, so let's do it.
That's why I asked. I feel like that 22-23 was like it felt like 60-40, 60 Mikel, 40 the players, because there was a bit of that. Now it feels 90-10, 95-5 in terms of how rigid. And then when you look at the situation we're in, very different to the last two. I know last year we started the season not in the greatest of fashion. It was the tweaks from free flow in 22-23 to the bit more safe and assured, but we were still better than we were in a better place than we are now in terms of how we're feeling about the potential to win the league and whatnot. This time round, we're in a very different place to the last 2 years, where it feels like crunch time heading into game week 12. I'm looking at the team. I look at Liverpool's team and City's team, and they're dotted with killers. Ours less so, but ours is dotted with young players that I feel like if you give them a bit of free reign, or a bit more freer reign than we have recently, we might get that feeling back, and maybe this is the way to win those games and catch, because it's not like I don't see us calculating our way back to win this Premier League title, if that makes sense. I don't see us doing X plus Y, and the square root of that is the result of the league. We need to kind of throw that paper out the window and just go for it.
It's got to almost be passion driven. It's got to be like, it's got to be fueled by your love for the club and football. I know what you mean. Like we can't. I know I mentioned Arteta come out with something tactically earlier, but I know what you mean. It's not going to be, well, we double inverted the fullbacks and now suddenly we've clawed back 6 points. It's got to be fueled by like an Emirates Stadium on fire and players just going like, whatever it is, and Kai Havertz that makes him go fuck it every now and again. We need to see that week in, week out, when he's blasting that ball in the back of the net. And Martinelli, that hunger to keep working hard, to defend and all that is great. Channel it into anger, like you doubted it. There almost seems to be like an anger and a fire in Arsenal at the moment, and then you just see where it takes you. And maybe if Liverpool draw at the Etihad and have one bad result, that's 5 points dropped. Draw at the sorry, they're not playing at the Etihad. There you go. But draw at Anfield against City and have one bad result, because a draw against City is not a bad result. That's 5 points. And it's got to. I keep repeating myself. Sorry, but it just has to be fueled by more than just. We found our way into it. You're so right about that, Turkish. I couldn't agree more.
Yeah, I think that's the approach we need to use. In terms of if we're talking about lineups and what we want to see, I think it pretty much we're in the best place we've been all season, if I'm not mistaken, or since the start of the season. Maybe even better now. Marino hasn't got this shoulder issue and he's back amongst selection. And anything we do different, anything that any of you suggest that James gone. No, Lee, James?
I'm flying in quickly with this. Ødegaard, Rice, and Marino. I would do it. That would be my three. And I know that you're removing Partey. He's played every single game this season. With White out, Timber, I think, is a very flary, exciting fullback. Actually, he can get up and down that right hand side really well. Calafiori will want to do the same on the left. Even if Timber tucks in and Calafiori inverts, or if they're both overlapping, I actually think you're going to want a little bit more protection there. I also think we brought Marino to try and solve that left-hand side. Let's try solve it, because I think you're closer. You're a better team, Rice trying to replicate what Partey does, than you are basically giving Martinelli no help, and that left pocket, near the striker and Martinelli being completely unanswered. So I would go for that midfield three now. I think it's the best balanced profile wise. And, you do lose something, I understand, but I'd roll the dice on that.
I think that was the vision when Mourinho was sought after and purchased. Lee, you would go pretty much same as?
Yeah, no, I'll Timber on the right. If Calafiori's not fit, then Shinchenko goes in there. That would be what I do. Obviously, I don't know how Calafiori is, but we need him back soon as possible. Also, I want to see Tomiyasu on this bench. Otherwise, see ya, because he has put. One of the reasons that Ben White's having to play injured because he's been injured. He hasn't been able to back him up or help him. So you've now come and earn your money. But for me,
I think he should go anyway.
So I just want to say, I think he's got a long-term problem, Tomiyasu. I will say, I think what it is, I don't want to sit here and say, Ben White, he should have had the surgery sooner, blah, blah, blah. He's had this recurring issue. I think Tomiyasu is a recurring issue himself. I think that's what we've been quite unfortunate.
Too many of them, James. Too many of them. I'm sorry, you know what I mean? You can't be like this no more. We've got to be a little bit more ruthless. He's had long enough, stay fit. That's, and it's not like you're playing week in, week out, and also don't forget what you're doing at this moment in time by you not being fit. You're also putting pressure on Timber to play week in, week out, after coming back from ACL. So you're putting pressure on other players all the time. So I want him back, I want him fit, and I want him on the bench. He's been out far too long, in my opinion. But for me, Partey, Rice, and Odegaard, I thought that worked well against Chelsea. I think I've looked back at the Chelsea games. I think people are going, "Oh, it's not good enough," and all that. Chelsea's third in the league, away from home. That normal circumstances, that's a good point. I know we could have probably won it in the end. I thought we looked the stronger side, by the way. That's coming back from Inter Milan when they changed all their squad over. So I don't think that it was as bad as what everybody made it out to be. That would be my three in the midfield there. Mourinho, I thought done well when he come on. I thought Trossard done well when he come on. And also, just because you don't start, as you said earlier on, Jordan, these players have got a part, whether it's Mourinho from the bench or whoever from that, they have to start coming on and contributing. I think the only time that we've had a substitute come on and change a game for us was it Leicester at home when we was 2-2 and we was a little bit down, and Wanyeri come on and give the crowd and the team a bit of a lift.
And Trossard at Villa, to be fair, but yeah.
Oh yes, Trossard at Villa, yes, definitely.
It doesn't happen
100%. Yes, that was probably like that, and I thought Trossard done well when he come on, and I know he missed a chance at the end there,
Yeah.
But and the front three, it picks itself if Trossard's not available, which I don't think that he will be. But yeah, and I also now think with Trossard being out, step up, Sterling. Step up, because not only are you going to help Arsenal out, you're helping yourself out for your career, because your career is going down a pan unless you come and sort it out. He needs to pick his game up, come on and contribute. He'll get a little bit more of a chance now, because it would be natural. I think it's sort of normal service, isn't it? What I mean? Martinelli 70 minutes and then Trossard or the other way round. It can't be now. So it's going to be your chance to come on there and do something. And by Christ, you've got to come on and do something. So, I think Timber going over to the right-hand side, I think's a normal thing. And I agree with you. Just bloody go for it. I don't want to see a nervous performance from us. I want to see us, even if it's tight and whatever. I want to see us a confident performance. You know what I mean? I don't want an edgy performance. I don't know what we're going to get. That's the thing at the moment with this Arsenal side. But and Rice might not be fit, boys. You know what I mean? A toe injury don't take 10 days and miraculously heals up. So it may be that for the next couple of games, you're going to have to say to Mourinho and Partey, you're doing the job until we get Rice back 100%.
Yeah.
And if he's not 100%, I don't want him having injections in his foot to get through 70 minutes. What does that tell you? You know what I mean? I want him to be 100%. If you're not 100% fit, we've got players in the squad that can come in and do the job. I think that sends out a bad message.
Yeah. And I wanted to just jump on that really quickly. That Arteta though has to himself send that message to the players. Like,
Yeah.
you know, I always think Jorginho's such a fascinating case because no Arsenal fan wanted him when we signed him. Mainly because
Whoa! I was more than happy with the signing.
No, you were happy with the signing, but you weren't going into it going, "I want Jorginho at my football club."
Oh no.
You know what I mean? Like we wanted Caicedo, and so we got Jorginho. So yeah, to be fair, you stomached it well. I wasn't all that about it. I think Laurie and Robbie were like, fair enough. Most of us were pretty critical, cool, whatever. So he comes in, and he barely kind of plays. And then as we kind of need him to at the end, he does really well in Newcastle, does really well against Chelsea, and you're thinking, okay, Jorginho's played a part here. Then he kind of barely plays last season, except for like the odd big game like Man City at home, whatever. And then when Arsenal need to get their act together, they bring him back into midfield. They settle things down and we go on that brilliant run. He was a key part of that Arsenal run that won all those games through to Man City. He started in the game at the Etihad where we drew and Jorginho was playing a lot of football. Cool. Then we go into this season. He's forced to start the North London derby, does absolutely fine. We keep a clean sheet and win. We don't look like conceding. And then he doesn't touch the pitch again. It's like it's really weird. Like there's like, apart from one error in the North London derby where he came on at half time, he's like done nothing wrong in Arsenal. I'd argue that's the one minus. Everything else has been a plus. Everything he's done really well. That's coincided with our form, his performances, everything from left 8, 6, whatever it is. And we've never seen him. And the reason I use him as the example is Sterling's been in and out. Jesus you've had as much good as you've had bad. And other players, Kivior did well, but then got done. But like, if you can't even trust Jorginho with what he's given you and the results we've had with him, if you can't even trust him, it just tells me Arteta really struggles to pull away from what he thinks works. And I do find that a little bit concerning.
Yeah. Plus, he's probably here for his coaching badges anyway. So, you know, let's not forget that was a big reason why he's behind it. I know what you mean. I mean, it's frustrating because I'm going to take it off on a tangent a little bit now because the more we're talking about some of the players, I mean, I think we've had enough with Tomiyasu's injuries. He's on a last chance saloon now. If he returns, he gets injured again. See you later. Kivior already, we all thought in the summer we would probably move on from him. Zinchenko, we know it's about time. This summer coming, we need to move on. Jesus, we know it's time. Sterling, head back to Chelsea or wherever the hell you want to go next. So already, forget players we need to add at the end of the summer, which we should have added at this summer just gone. You double up with the problems next summer, and there's no chance we can fix everything that we need to fix next summer because of what we didn't do this summer. But again, that's just my head going off on worrying about the bigger picture because that's already 5 players. I don't think people are going to argue that we wouldn't be upset seeing the back of, let alone we haven't even talked about Jorginho and Partey on a year left or 6 months to go now. We've got a lot of work to do in the summer, hence why last summer was so frustrating. And don't even get me started on this Pep contract stuff because I just remembered now. Like, that is... Obviously, you want the best in the league, right? Fair, cool. But it's so frustrating. Like, it's... You know he's going to rebuild something special. And it just makes our task harder when this season was just there for us to... Listen, Liverpool deserved to be there. But I thought we would be along the same lines. But, cool. Back to the game. Sorry.
I'm happy about it. I'm happy.
Yeah.
Look, the league's harder to win with Pep in it. But, like, if we don't win it this year, he goes and then we win it, you just know the narrative. And, of course, I'd rather have a title without Pep in it than no title at all. But I think... I know I'm delusional. I get it. I think we can beat Pep Guardiola to a title. Maybe not this year. But I think we can do it. I think we can.
Well, it'll be ironic that this year we come above Pep and still don't win the league. that would just be the ultimate.
I think maybe looking a little bit too much into that contract, so it don't mean nothing.
What do you mean?
It could easily have a clause in there, you know.
Yeah.
It could easily have a.
Listen, he could be going Marley away next season. He might not want to do that, Marley, like, you know what I mean? So
I think it indicates that they're confident about the position they're in moving forward, and
that could be telling you that could be the message that they want to give everybody. Might not necessarily be so.
That's all we need. Pep new contract, Musiala under Pep for the next 2 years. Good luck, Mikel. Good luck, Kroenke. Yeah, be excited. Let's see.
I think it's also, you make a great point, Turkish. He's got to make a few. So I think the club's got to make a couple of signings in January.
Business.
Of course, Gyökeres needs to be the one we try and go for now. I mean, no excuses. Are we trying to be a big club or not? Because I know a lot of he scored a hat-trick against City. His stock has gone up. Yeah, I get that. But listen, yeah, a lot of this younger generation came through on Be Excited. I came through on we're moving stadiums to compete with Bayern Munich, right? That was 15 years before Be Excited. So please do not tell me because Gyökeres has scored a hat-trick and other clubs are interested that we can't get him now. That's the whole reason we are where we are after having such a great era under Wenger in those first 8 years of his tenure at the club.
A lot of these kids grew up and Be Excited is brilliant.
It's true though. I grew up on we're moving stadium to compete with Bayern. Probably worse than Be Excited because it was very definitive. We're moving here to compete with them. At least Be Excited was, well, we've got 20k extra seats. So, there's 20k fans excited. The waiting list is done.
Let me ask you, Turkish, right? Some pretty big rumors about Luis Ocampos. A few other directors that I can't pretend to know anything about, but Ocampos was one of those who was talked about with Ralph Rangnick and others. What do you think of that? Would you be happy about that? Or maybe you don't have a massive opinion on it, but would you be happy about that kind of appointment?
Bro, I don't know much. I just don't know much about sporting directors in general. For me,
no, same.
I want
he's
someone.
He's one of the ones we know. He's one of the ones if you said name, you ask even a semi-casual football fan, name some of the best sporting directors. That I think the Campos gets mentioned.
Where is he?
He just left, or he's
wasn't
leaving,
he at PSG?
Yeah, that was it, PSG.
Yeah.
And then there's that Real Sociedad.
Would have a clue where he was.
There's that Real Sociedad one that's coming to an end in the summer or so. And I'm seeing names here and there. I mean, you know me in the summer, James. I didn't apply no pressure on players. I didn't say I want that player, this player. I'm not about to say I want this sporting director, that sporting director. What I'm going to say is whoever comes in, it does not restart the process. Yeah. You pick up where we are and you take us over the line. If you can't do that, au revoir, sayonara, whatever it is, on to the next one. That's how I see it.
Yeah, PSG. But he was responsible for those Monaco and Lille signings, wasn't he? Like Bernardo Silva, Fabinho. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, we'll see. I'm not too sure it's something that's going to get sorted swiftly. I think they'll probably wait towards the end of the season. Rumors will pick up. We'll probably know who it's going to be. But yeah, I don't see them doing it swiftly unless we lose a couple more and then it's like we're bringing this guy in and here you go, new merch as well, new sporting director merch to come with it. This is what he's gonna wear, so buy it from the club shop and all this shit.
You should be comfortable though, being really honest, that not to have no one going into the January transfer window.
Arteta's manager. Arteta is manager. He's not head coach, so it doesn't really,
do it all, can he?
He gets what he wants anyway.
Apparently, manager means you're more in charge of the overall, bigger picture.
I genuinely do think that Arsenal need to do some business in January. I really do.
100%.
I'm not worried about it, Lee, because if you need to convince the player, Arteta's the one who's going to ultimately do it. And we always hear that he's the one who gets that done. If you're worried about funds, well, that's to do with the Kroenkes and Richard Garlick. I mean, Tim Lewis is a lawyer who I think has been involved in the transfer stuff things before. Certainly, Richard Garlick used to be. So I mean, they'll have a whole team. I wouldn't worry about it.
Okay, that's a fair point.
I don't think it will stop us. I think what Edu did. So I think what Edu's job was obviously looking after the transfer stuff, but he had an overview of the identity of the club and ensuring that everything also filtered into that. And I think the club should have pretty solid foundations to build on that in the short term.
And it takes one less target away from the, January, we know it's Mikel, whoever he wants, and it's Kroenke's, can they provide? There is no middleman. There is no, it could be Edu. Mikel and Stan and Josh. That's it. January, what are you going to do, fellas? What are you going to do? But there's still at least 8 games before January. So, yeah, we'll see where we're at. Let me bring up the prediction table.
That's soon, man. Fucking January transfer stuff's gonna.
Yep, it's
Coming
coming up
very
to that.
soon.
This is where the Mudryk rumors started picking up. That that year it was mid-November, and then we saw how that ended. But it is what it is. Here's the table.
I'm
Jordan
still
did
top.
Hang on, was
Yeah.
my top?
Actually, wait. Oh, this
Yeah,
is the old
I-
table.
Yeah.
Oh, this is the old table.
Lee, you see what's going on here? You see what's
Oh,
going on?
you can't watch them. They're a
You
couple
see
of dodgy.
Oh,
I just owned up to it.
Oh, you did, yeah, but like, you know.
Wait. What's going on?
Scandal.
So what
Forget.
what
Oh
happened was
no. Sorry, you are top. Remember, I didn't change around the name.
Yeah.
You're on 18, Jordan, and James is on 17. Sorry,
yeah,
because the correct scores are right. James has got 4 correct scores.
yeah, that's what it is. So I'm second on
Forget-
17, Jordan's top on 18.
Forget 115. We got Turkish over here trying to do me dirty.
Yeah, you know
No,
what I mean?
no.
You got to make him top.
Yeah, all right, I'll do it now. I mean, fucking hell,
Yeah. So, you know,
you're
listen, if you was top, you wouldn't put someone else there, would you?
Listen, I want to be
Thank
top
you,
game
Lee.
week 38. I don't care about now, mate. Yeah. Don't worry, behind the scenes. Keep the people entertained then, Lee. Do some juggling or something while I get the table updated.
You know what? I don't know how many points am I on. I can't even see it. How many points am I on there?
You're 13.
13. Bloody, I'm falling away here. Like, you know what I mean? That's not
you
good.
are.
You're bottom of the table, Lee. That's very concerning.
Yeah, it is.
There you go. It's updated. Happy?
Thank you very much, sir.
No problem. No problem.
Lovely.
Give it a week. We'll be back to where it was just before that.
Of course.
But yeah, let's do it. Jordan, you're first up.
Shit, yeah.
Surprisingly enough.
I thought of one, yeah. Arsenal Forest. Oh God. Easy boys. 2-0
Sure, you
Arsenal.
wanted this guy top lead. You see how long he's just taken for the.
He
That's
wanted,
your
to go
guy.
home. He wanted to go home an hour ago.
I do.
Now he's.
He's got top
2-0.
panic, doesn't he? Like, you know what I mean? Jeez.
I did.
Nose bleeding. 2-0, James.
2-0 Arsenal. Yeah.
Yeah, I wasn't sure between 2-0 or 1-0, but because obviously 2-0's been taken, I'll go 1-0.
2-0, 1-0. Nottingham Forest defensively, second best defense in the league off the top of my head. I think behind Liverpool, I think they've conceded the least.
They got Nuno, man. Nuno Espirito Santo, such a good example of a manager. Did great at Wolves, got a chance at Tottenham, didn't work. Everyone slagged him off. I think he had another job somewhere else. Came back and showed he's a really good manager. Like, it's just sometimes the manager isn't a fit, but we make just like sweeping statements about coaches because of one job. Like crazy. We need to start being more open about the way we kind of judge.
I mean, people make sweeping statements about players after one 90-minute performance. This is the work. This is the
Imagine people. I can't believe Arsenal fans are hating on Mourinho. I cannot believe it. Forget what you think of his performances. I just haven't seen. He hasn't played enough. But there we go.
He's had no pre-season. He's had an injury as well. Like, people just got to, you know.
He barely had any season. Do you know what I mean? Like, he's barely played. I can't even disagree and say he's been great. I haven't seen enough. But anyway.
I don't think he's played particularly brilliantly so far. But you can clearly see the guy's a player. You can see he's a player.
Yeah, jury's out at the minute.
Yeah,
I think he's a good player. I thought he'd done well against Chelsea when he came on.
He's brilliant. I wouldn't say that's enough either. I'm not looking at going wow, or even the Liverpool home, he was great, but I'm not going wow. I just haven't seen anywhere near enough. But anyway,
again, I think if you have the 22-23 Arsenal side, I think that's where Mourinho will probably excel a bit when we're a bit more fluid in the transition with space. But my prediction 2-1 Arsenal.
3-0. I've said it before. I thought that was what I was going to go with, and I'm going to stick with it. 3-0.
So 3-0, Lee, 2-0, Jordan, 1-0, James, and 3-1. And 2-1 for myself. That's all right. All right, people, give us your predictions in the comment section below. We'll see what the table's looking like. Don't forget, download the AFTV Plus app where you can follow with the predictions amongst your own group, friends, circle, AFTV, the panel here. Download the AFTV Plus app. Fourever Predictor is within that app. It's free to play. It's free to download. So why not, people? Go and have some fun with some friends or play along with us. To wrap it up now, comments of the day.
Can we just say big up the community? 1,300 comments on the last pod. So shout out to the people that left comments.
Yeah, I mean the comment section this season we've had a few with over 1,000 comments, and I mean them ones. I mean, yeah, I mean big. I mean, listen, that's what the show's about, causing debate and getting the community to give their views and thoughts, and that's why we got comments of the day as well. So big up the community as always. Hit the like button. You still haven't won Jordan over, but yeah, slowly but surely.
I will say though, it does surprise me how many people in the comments think like, you know, an opinion isn't maybe, you know, as cutting about Arsenal as theirs, and therefore we're trying to protect the club or something, or, you know, they always think there's this kind of like ulterior motive. No, like I noticed quite a few of those in the last comment section. It really surprised me. I don't know, like, if we're too negative, it's we want clicks and views. If we're too positive, we're trying to protect our rep with the club. Like, when are people just going to get it in their heads? We just say what we think, and if we see it differently to you, perhaps more positively or more negatively, that's just how we see it. You don't have to get all. I don't know. I just find it so strange.
It was a rough week for Lee.
What's that?
Not really a rough week. You know, the club sent me a car round. Very nice, like, you know what I mean? So, you know, red and white Ferrari. Thank you very much for backing the club and, you know, keeping the positive stuff, like, you know. And they said next, if I carry on till Christmas, I'll get a Christmas season ticket. So, like, you know, that's how it works. So,
do your two, like James and Lee, does your payment still go through now? Edu's gone.
Well, I'll have to check that. You know what I mean? So, but, listen,
double check that. I'm interested.
I mean, a lot of my comments are like, I'll go into it because that's what I said. Like, Lee has followed the Don Robbie now, is on the payroll for the club. Like, you know, come on, guys, really? At the end of the day, really? How I see it, and I'm still not going to change my mind about it. You know, I will criticise a club when I feel the time is right. At this moment in time, they've had 2 brilliant years of challenging for the title. They've had a couple of bad months at this moment in time. Like, I'm not going to throw my toys out and go against the team. I'm going to back the club. But if it doesn't work, then I'll be the one that will criticise. But at this moment, I'm backing them. I'm not on no payroll. I still believe in the team. I still believe it's a very, very good team. And I believe that the manager's made mistakes. Yes, he has. But listen, some of you like supporters have been brought up in different eras where you expect Arsenal to win trophies and be at the top and all that. When I started following Arsenal, it wasn't like that. And
shots fired.
They've had to earn the right to win titles and build, and they've never been. Arsenal have never been a team. If you go back through their history of backing to the managers of the hill, we've lost players like Liam Brady. I've spoken to Liam Brady, like, you know, do this and do that, and I'll stay, and they didn't. You know what I mean? And they'd rather take the money for Frank Stapleton. And you go back through the eras of it all, like Charlie Nicholas when he signed for Arsenal. They promised they're going to sign Ray Wilkins. They promised him they're going to sign this player. They never did. Under George Graham, they never really went big, did they? Like, you know, and they've never done it under Arsene Wenger. So at the end of the day, you know, now everybody expects the Cronkies to go in big, which we have done with Declan Rice, but we have actually broke the record before with a player called Malcolm McDonald. Never worked out, guys. You know, not necessarily always work. You know, so at the end of the day, for me, I'm just going to see where we are in 7 games' time. If that's criticism and that's being on the payroll, then fair enough. Like, but I'm not going to back down until I've seen these 7 games and see what happens.
Well, also, if I am on the payroll, I'd quite like the payments to come through. Then, you know, it's Christmas soon.
Yeah.
Well, you don't know, James. It all goes to Lee, and he distributes amongst the other. You know, yeah, he's the ringleader. He's the top. You know when they say top gooner, Lee is top with a capital T-O-P. Yeah, the money goes to him. He just, you know.
Keep messaging Edu. Okay, Edu, where's the money you promised me? Like, he's not responding. Like,
how do I get on this payroll? What's going on? Like, the money's.
Jordan,
I don't know if you're eligible.
What have I got to say?
Can I tell you guys, there's something very insulting about being told you're on the payroll. Yet here I am only wanting the heating on for an hour because of bloody bills. It's
I've got
2
my hat on
degrees
still.
outside. Oh, no more than an hour. Let me just, I'd love to be on the payroll, please. It's 3 degrees outside. I need 4 layers to go out. The insult. I'm like, I bloody wish. Like,
Well, my comment of the week kind of falls in line with what we're talking about. But listen, not the payroll stuff. My comment of the week comes from KD Lewis, and he said Lee is smoking what Robbie is smoking, and I'll leave it at that. Lee, if you've got the number of the same dealer, let me know, because I don't think it's the same quality. So
that's fine. I like that. My comment of the week. Oh, go on, Jordan. You go.
No, you go.
It's about you, Jordan. So it's from Tony SC1CP. And he says, Jordan's cam is flickering. Oh, I've lost it. Hold on. Jordan's cam is flickering. Different frequency of sampling compared to the light frequency. You can fix by down or increasing the sampling of the cam to 50 hertz or 60 hertz.
Cheers, Tony. Thank you for that.
I mean, I'm glad now we know that we can fix the flickering.
We can. I mean, literally, it was just a bulb that was about to blow. That's literally what it is.
71 likes.
Oh, really? Oh, wow. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. I'll just think that. Cheers, Tony. My one finally was from official DPS7. Turkish in his childhood bedroom. Jordan at his mummy's house. James in his girlfriend's bedroom. And Lee's in the shed at the back of the garden. Love the pod, guys. Keep up the great work. That's true.
There is something very, I'm sure you have a lovely home, Lee, I've no doubt, but there is something very shed at the back of the garden about your setup, with the darts board behind, the door slightly behind you. You look like you're sat on the floor.
There's been some big meetings in that room. I'm telling you that you see those rooms in the old gangster movies with the dartboard and the snooker cues. They've planned Hatton Garden robberies in that room there. I'm sure of it. I am sure of it.
I've got a cellar down there, like, you know, and that's where the dead bodies go, like, you know. So if you don't,
Our very own Bricktop. If you know, you know.
Oh, man.
Right, I want to go home. Come on, guys.
yeah, like turn the light out. Someone's turned the lights out. I know
You know what it is? It's the sensor. There's no one moving it. The cleaner's gone. That's how late it is. The cleaner's bloody gone.
Cool. Let's wrap it up before Jordan gets locked in the Channel 4 studios, and yeah, we're all doomed.
I think there's a burglar in there in a minute. I'll tell you, like, you know,
yeah. The alarms are all gonna go off.
They are.
No, that'd actually be jokes.
People, listen, pleasure as always to catch up, man. Not much to discuss with Arsenal in terms of the last 10 days, but a lot to discuss moving forward. And we are going to be back after each and every game from now up until the end of the season. And they're coming thick and fast, people. Champions League still about, December still about in January. League Cup action against Palace, FA Cup returns in January, but we've got a hell of a lot to do in the Premier League up until then. Hopefully we do it. Hit the like button, people. Make sure you're subscribed. Show some love to the individual channels. Gooniverse, Lee Judges TV, Whisper It Loudly, Turkish LD, and the Big Six, all of that. But more importantly, subscribe here. Love for the love as always. We're out. Peace.